What's good, folks? This your boy Z the Real here, and welcome to another tier list. And this is just basically progress report of the regular season, as we are past week 10, going to week 11. And as always, like I say, that this is the second half of the season. This is when we start seeing who's real. Okay, which teams are showing that they're gonna that they can win a championship. Okay, which teams look like they're gonna contend, and we're gonna see the teams that's basically like just average, right, mediocre, and then versus like the sorry teams. Now, of course, the teams that needs improvement or rebuilding, those are teams that are basically like done, right? Where the rebuilding teams have no chance of winning. They're not gonna turn these things around. They're basically like those teams are compete for draft picks, like I told y'all before. Like the teams that are very bottom, yeah, they maybe win one or two games. They have their highlights, but they're not that they're not competing for no championship. They're not that strong. Now the teams that needs to prove it, they have potential there. Like the Browns beat the Bills just on Sunday. They showed you there's something there. Jarvis Landry, ODB, Baker Mayfield. There's nothing wrong with them. They do got the defense. They got one of the best cornerbacks to me in the league. It's just the problem is again, it's coaching, it's just the coaching staff, right? They don't know how to use them, but there's some potential there. Okay. And same thing with the Titans. The problem with the Titans is Mariota's been a disappointment. He's just fallen off. Now they got Ryan Tannehill as his backup, right? Then of course the average teams, those teams can still contend for a playoff spot. Like the Cowboys reached the playoffs because of default, right? So you got those teams, right? The average teams, they can still possibly make the playoffs. They could reach that they could reach that 6th or 5th seed, right? They could reach that wild card spot, but they're not necessarily championship worthy yet. They don't necessarily have a chance of winning it all, but they'll still make the playoffs. So they'll still be a first or second round team. Now the contending teams, okay, that's when it starts getting tough, right? The teams that's in that contender spot, those are teams that's playing hard. They're showing a lot of potential. They got a lot of weapons there they can use. They got a decent coaching staff. They've been winning a lot of their games. And of course, the teams at the top, those are just championship level teams. So without further ado, let me just run through this. I'm not going to make this too long, but first off, right? Baltimore and Seattle, I got to give them their credit, man. Like Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson, they're playing very good. Believe it or not, those two are up for MVP. Lamar Jackson and Russell Wilson. I'm gonna still give the edge to Russell Wilson only because I felt that he's been in the league a while. He's already been to the top at least twice. Okay, he's the only quarterback, the only black quarterback in the last 100 years to lead his team to 2 back-to-back Super Bowls. And I feel he got robbed of MVP the last time. Like 2013 or 14 should have been the years he got it, right? Okay, I understand why they gave it to Peyton Manning, but they didn't have to give Aaron Rodgers a second MVP award, right? So because Russell Wilson never won it before, and the NFL has to make up for that, they'll probably give him that. But Lamar Jackson, in other words, to me, man, Lamar is making a strong case why he should be MVP, right? Then next, of course, you got the Niners. Again, Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch turned that team completely around. They have done nothing but been impressive all season long, right? Again, they lost to Seattle, but that was an overtime game. That was classic right there. That was a legendary game. To me, that these two teams, that's game of the year. That Monday Night Football game with San Francisco and Seattle, that's game of the year right there. Right? Despite both kickers missed a field goal, Garoppolo then again made an effort to try to make his team come back, right? I'll give him that. The rate the 49ers are going, they can actually, again, contend for a championship. They have a strong chance. And then look at Nick Bosa, right? Look at that defense. Richard Sherman. Again, these guys are really hungry. The Niners are hungry. They ready. I'm looking at this right now. The Niners are right back. The Niners are right back to being that team they once was when Jim Harbaugh was last there. Instead of having Kaepernick and instead of having Alex Smith, Jimmy Garoppolo is proven to be that guy. Okay, so my thing is, man, this 49 team, again, they've been very impressive. You got to give them they just do, right? New England's New England. I don't got to worry about New England. Now, again, the fact that the Rays was able to knock New England off, again, man, that says a lot. But New England has still reached the playoffs. They're the defending champions. Okay, you still got Bill Belichick, Tom Brady. They still got some key weapons they've had, right? Yeah, you don't got Demaryius Thomas no more. You don't got AB, but it's still straight. This the Patriots are the Patriots. There's nothing much need to be said there. Green Bay. Green Bay is 8-2 right now. Again, the reason why they're 8-2, no other than Aaron Rodgers. Just as long as Aaron Rodgers is healthy and continues to play at a high level, the Packers will be straight. And this is Matt LaFleur's rookie year as a coach, right? Again, like Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers is doing this with limited help. Now I must admit, his running back been balling. Was it Jones? Aaron Jones? He's been doing very good. Okay, and remember, and this is Devontae Freeman. That's been not Devontae Freeman. Excuse me. Devontae Adams. Excuse me. Yeah, this is Devontae Adams. Adams has not been healthy this whole season. He's been very banged up. He's been hurt. Right. Adams has not played in that many games. He's still able to make it work with what he has. Now, Aaron Rodgers, again, this is why Aaron Rodgers is a 2-time league MVP. You now know why, right? Again, I'm not going to put him above Russell Wilson in that regard. But again, like Russell Wilson, he's in the same boat. Okay, most of his team left. Clay Matthews left. Clinton Dix, he left. Randall Cobb left. He lost a lot of guys. Jared Cook also left, right? Graham, a lot of guys are gone. But the reason why, but to be able to do it, you know what I'm saying, without limited help, without having the guys he's had in the last 5-6 years, that's again very highly impressive. Again, you got to give them the respect. Matt LaFleur again is doing a great job. Now the contending side, right? We go down to Saints. Saints, I must admit, them losing to the Falcons is going to hurt them big time. It hurts, but at the end of the day, they still got a squad, right? Drew Brees is Drew Brees. Even though I still think they should have left Teddy Bridgewater in, because the Brees the main problem with the Saints now is that Brees can't escape out the pocket no more. He done lost all agility. That's the only problem. If the Saints go against a defense that know how to blitz and pass rush, especially up the middle, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. But again, you got to respect Brees in that regard. You got to Sean Payton not to put Brees back in there, because again, he's the best quarterback they ever had in their history, right? The man knows how to get his team to the playoffs. Brees has his moments, right? But again, since after him getting injured like that, I don't know. I don't know if Drew Brees is going to be the same player anymore, right? That's the same reason why. Again, I don't know, man. Again, Bridgewater is hot. I understand that, but we got to see, man. We got to pay attention to Drew Brees in the next, I say, 3 weeks. We got to see if he can win, because it's only going to get harder from here. The Saints, if I'm not mistaken, got the 49ers. This Niners is not going to be easy whatsoever. And the Niners, again, got pass rushers, as you can tell, right? Again, if Drew Brees can't get Malcolm Thomas or somebody open, or if they can't call no screen, or they can't at least, if the offensive line don't do a good job protecting Brees, they're gonna get blown out that game. That's almost another loss right there. Vikings. Now, I'll admit, Dalvin Cook is carrying that team. Dalvin Cook has played very well, right? You saw how they played against the Cowboys, right? The Vikings have been winning majority of games. Why? Because they got the best pass rushing league. Again, man, this guy is the successor to Adrian Peterson. He's the second coming. Yeah, he's not Adrian. Yeah, of course he's not AP. AP was way more elusive, way more assignment. But Dalvin Cook's been doing a good job, right? Vikings, again, are solid all the way around. Offense and defensively, they got playmakers. This is like I was saying before. The Vikings have never really been that bad of a team. They really haven't. Okay, you know what I'm saying? The right type of again, Zimmerman has had great rosters. The issue with them has been the quarterback position. Because again, like I told you before, I don't trust Kirk Cousins, but Kirk Cousins is being carried. I'm lying. They're not winning because of Kirk Cousins at all. Because if it was up to Kirk Cousins, they wouldn't even beaten Dallas. You know what I'm saying? If it was up to Kirk Cousins, for Kirk Cousins to be trusted, man, they wouldn't win. They win because of the running game. They have one of the best running. I believe Dalvin Cook can win Rush of the Year. The rushing title may go to him. That's why they've been winning. They be able to control games with the running game. And then you got receivers, right? You have Adam Thielen. So again, they got a nice solid core. Okay, but again, like I said, I don't trust Cousins at all. But again, all the way around, you got to respect them. So that's why they're in this contender spot. Of course, I don't know if they're gonna beat Green Bay. I believe Green Bay still owns them. Until they beat Green Bay, they're not championship worthy yet. Houston, again, Deshaun Watson balling. I like Carlos Hyde over there. And this is a team without Jadeveon Clowney. So they released Jadeveon Clowney, they still fine. So, of course, they're going to have to find him another pass rusher. Maybe they'll get one in the draft. But, again, J.J. Watt is still doing his thing, right? Again, Texans are still good. They're not great, but they'll still win enough games to get you to the playoffs. Now, as for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, shouts out to the YouTuber that did the Madden Curse video. I don't know how many people really believe in that Madden Curse, but I will pay attention to Patrick Mahomes in the next 2-3 weeks. Matter of fact, watch Mahomes in these next 2 games, right? Because the Chiefs already lost. The Chiefs should have beaten Tennessee. That was no excuses for that at all, right? And Mahomes, again, he didn't do bad at all, but they didn't put up enough points to win that game. Again, man, the Tennessee defense won him that game. So I want y'all to really pay attention to Patrick Mahomes, because if Patrick Mahomes does not have that same elusiveness, okay, because he's already come back. He's come back and they're 0-1. All right, remember, they won last week with the backup quarterback. Now they lost this week since they put him back in. In the next 2 weeks, if Mahomes loses the next 2 games out, and then you see that he's not as sharp as he was before he got injured, and the Chiefs continue to lose games and they decline, and they start dropping back like somewhere down here, then you'll know the Madden Curse is real. Okay? Because let the record be shown. Anybody that's ever appeared on a Madden cover from Garrison Hurst all the way into Mahomes, they have all been affected some kind of way, with the exception of Brady and Grunt. And the only reason why the Brady and Grunt have gotten a pass from the Madden Curse because they own the Patriots. Right? This is Bill Belichick. They was able to win Super Bowl. They won Super Bowl 51 despite Gronkowski didn't even play. Then the year after they lost to the Eagles, but they were able to bounce back last year. That's the only exception. But of course, in Brady's case, he don't have 7 rings. Brady would have 7 rings. They put him on the front cover of Madden 18. He lost that year. He lost that year. And now he doesn't have he don't have 7 rings like he would have had. Same thing with Gronk. They put Gronkowski on the cover of Madden 17. He didn't get a chance to play in Super Bowl 51. Yet they still won, but he didn't play. So, and even then, Gronkowski's retired. He's young. Gronkowski's only about I'd say 30 years old, maybe 31. He's not old, but he's retired early. But yeah, just pay attention to Mahomes. Other than that, man, Hill is still balling. They still got a good team, right? They still got Shady McCoy. He's still solid. Chiefs still got a squad, but just pay attention to Mahomes. Because Mahomes, to me, he scares me now. I'm worried about him. Bills, I must admit, man, the Bills are playing well. Jared Allen is playing very good for his team. The Bills are finally back to being competitive. I believe this Bills team may be better than when Tyrod Taylor was playing for him, right? They still got Kyle Williams. They're still great, right? They're still decent. I'll give the Bills that credit. They're decent. They just might make the playoffs. If the Bills, now, they lost to the Browns, okay, that's going to hurt them a little bit, but they're still contending. If the Bills could win, I say the next 4 games, then they should be kind of a threat for the playoffs. If the Bills, let's say the Bills go 11 games. If they can go 11 games, if they can win 11 games, then they'd be dangerous. You'll then have to pay attention to them. Raiders. The only reason why the Raiders are not up in this contention team because they're still average in my book. Like the Raiders still gotta win more games. But other than that, John Gruden's doing a good job. As of right now, the Raiders are looking like a 4th or 5th seed right now. But again, I like what Gruden is doing for this team. This is a completely young team, right? They're a completely young team, but they're playing very competitive, right? They're winning a majority of their games. So again, I'm not going to give the Raiders too much credit right now. I got to see what they do within the next 4 weeks. But if they keep winning games, and let's say they beat teams like let's say they beat the Chiefs, because the Raiders gotta win at least 2-3 games in their division. If they beat the Bills, well, let's say if they can even beat the Ravens, possibly, they'll be a contender. But until then, I don't want to put too much on it because the Raiders have been shown to disappoint you. In the last 10, 15 years, they've been disappointments. You can't really put your hopes up yet. But again, great job by Gruden. The Steelers, right? Now, I'll admit, when I did my tier list, the Steelers was down here at the bottom. Mason Rudolph is starting to get his rhythm going, right? They traded for that safety from Miami. They're starting to get going, all right? Mike Tomlin is starting to be Tomlin again. The Raiders have climbed back from being 0-4 to now 5-4. So the Steelers, right? Again, Steelers, again, I got to see what they do down the line in the next 5 games, but the Steelers are definitely making a case for making the playoffs. They're looking like that playoff team again, right? And again, this is without Big Ben. Let me remind you, this is without Le'Veon Bell. You don't have AB anymore, yet they're still playing decent. So they're at least decent for now. I'm going to give them their credit. They're playing decent. They're not playing bad. They're decent. Rams. Now, the Rams, this is another team that people need to be worried about. Rams are starting to lose some momentum. They're not looking as strong as they was last year. And quite frankly, and I think I've explained this before, Todd Gurley is not, he's not that healthy as y'all think he is. Todd Gurley, again, he's limited. He can't carry the team. He can't rush like he used to no more, man. This man can't get 100-yard games like he's accustomed to getting, right? Because of his knees, the arthritis. Now, the Rams still got a lot of playmakers over there. They still got a lot of pieces to use. Okay? Jared Goff still got some people he can throw to. They're not out of the woods yet. They're just not that good. They're not that impressive, but the Rams should still make the playoffs before it's all said and done. There's certain teams like the Rams can beat these teams here. Like Tennessee, Jacksonville, Detroit, they can beat those teams, right? They can beat the Bears. They definitely could beat the Chargers, right? But when it comes to these top teams, no. When it comes to teams like the Vikings, Saints, Seahawks, especially Seattle and San Francisco, like the LA Rams aren't beating neither one of these teams. That's going to be the issue there. San Francisco and Seattle, hell no. I don't see Jared Goff beating neither one of those teams. But other than that, they'll beat up on the mediocre teams. I believe Rams will do just enough to reach the playoffs, but they're not reaching another championship. As far as that NFC title is concerned, they can forget about it. Because again, I believe either San Francisco, Seattle, or even Green Bay possibly may get that, or even Minnesota. It's not going to be them. They had their chance last year. I don't know about it this year. Now, as for my Cowboys, the only thing keeping my Cowboys from going right here at the bottom is because, again, they're going to win their division. They can beat Philadelphia, and they're definitely beating the Giants and the Redskins. So that's the only reason. The Cowboys are automatically a playoff team by default. But they're not a strong playoff team. That's why they're average. As long as they got Jason Garrett, the Cowboys going to forever be average. Yeah, they'll win some games. They'll do just enough to get that first seed, but that's it. They're not going to get out the second round. Until Jared Jones fires Jason Garrett, and then he gets on the phone and calls Urban Meyer or Jim Harbaugh in for an interview, the Cowboys will never be able to reach that championship status like they was in the 1990s. Okay? I'm sorry, Cowboy fans. I understand that hurts, especially coming from me, but I got to be honest. I got to keep it real. The Cowboys just don't impress me no more. Even on Sunday night, why is Dak Prescott not taking the ball and running? That man had a lane. If you go back and look at that last play, that Ezekiel Elliott got the ball deflected from him, he didn't have to pass the ball. He could have tucked the ball and ran. The offensive line actually gave him a hole to run through there. That if he would have called a running play like a fake, they would have used Ezekiel. Because again, the problem with the Cowboys is that Ezekiel Elliott's running game didn't work. I must admit, Mike Zimmerman shut down the Cowboys' offense attack with Zeke. This is one of the games where Zeke was completely shut out. Okay? Now, Dak Prescott is mobile. If Dak Prescott would have took the ball and ran and tried to run in between the hole of those defensive linemen and gotten that first down, the Cowboys might have would have had a chance to win that game. But because Jason Garrett, right, he didn't make the right kind of plays, he didn't have that right strategy, right? Because that didn't work, no, they're 5-4. The Cowboys should be 6-3 right now. The Cowboys should literally be up here. But because of that bad coaching, they're down here, right? Eagles, same thing, man. Carson Wentz has never had a playoff series at all. That was all Nick Foles. You're going into the second half of the season without no Nick Foles and Carson Wentz in. The Eagles are a question mark, okay? If the Eagles don't make the playoffs this year, don't be surprised. I wouldn't be for an ounce shocked. Nick Foles should be the starting quarterback of that team, not Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz still has not impressed me yet. And again, Carson Wentz can't stay healthy at all, right? Carson Wentz could go down with another injury. The Eagles are completely screwed, right? So no, for that reason being said, now I understand that the Eagles' schedule is they say that the Eagles' schedule is easy. I don't know if that's even a fact, right? So because of that, again, man, I believe Dallas will win out that division. Eagles, I don't know, man. Again, they're average too because they can't beat the Cowboys. Until Carson Wentz beat the Cowboys, they're not gonna reach the playoffs. Panthers, Christian McCaffrey is carrying them. He's making another. I think he's like the third runner-up for MVP. Christian McCaffrey again, power runner, strong, can receive the ball well like his daddy was. This guy is awesome, right? And they're doing it without Cam Newton. They're 5-4 without Newton. So just take that in mind. The backup quarterback is playing well for them, right? Carolina is another team I believe that can sneak up in there in the playoffs, just at this rate. Colts, they need Jacoby Brissett back. Once Jacoby Brissett gets back, they'll get back going. But again, they're playing well. They're playing decent. They're not sorry at all. They're not down here at all. They don't really need improvement. They got everything they need, right? They're just right now they're not playing as good because it's a tough season and they're battling injuries and have to rely on Brian Hoyer and the other fourth-string quarterback. But other than that, I believe once Brissett gets back, they'll get going again. Bears is back to being average. I'm sorry, man. They're not impressing me at all. They're losing all momentum. I don't know what's up with Mr. Trubisky. I know he understands he's suffering an injury too, but that's no excuses, man. The Bears are better than this. Again, they're better than playing average, man. The Bears got to get it going. Okay? The Bears in the last 4 weeks have not been that impressive at all. They've been losing too many games, and the defense has just been letting up. They've been out of gas. I'm serious. This offense is not clicking no more. They need to try something else offensively because that's what's messing the whole thing up. That offense is making it harder for Khalil Mack now to keep things going because they're tired. Chargers, you got to get rid of Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers was holding this team back big time. It's the quarterback position. Phillip Rivers got to go. Anytime you're throwing 7 interceptions, you know what I'm saying? You're terrible. You're horrible, right? Matter of fact, the Chargers should be down here. The only reason why the Chargers not in needs improvement because once again they still got in every other position like they got Melvin Gordon back. You still got Keenan Allen. You got their receiver core. They still got a decent defense. The problem is against the quarterback. They don't really need improvement. They got weapons. They got enough players to win games. It's just it's the quarterback. Phillip Rivers is average. He's not a championship quarterback. Okay. It's like Anthony Lynn might as well bench Phillip Rivers next game and put in either Cardale Jones or put in Tyrod Taylor. I believe Tyrod Taylor will get them to the playoffs with no doubt. That's what I would do, man. I'm benching Phillip Rivers in the next game. From the rest of the season, I'm benching Phillip Rivers, and we're going to put in Tyrod Taylor or I'm putting in Cardale Jones. Yeah, because Taylor get you to the playoffs. He's still young. Phillip Rivers had his time already. He needs to go. And nothing more needs to be said. I think Titans, out of all these teams here, I believe Jacksonville will probably get to the playoffs if they could get Nick Foles back. If Nick Foles is able to come back, I say next week. Or if he's not back by now, because I don't know if I saw that Jaguars game, but if Nick Foles can come back and win at least the next 6 games, let's say I think he wins if he wins maybe 4 or 5 games, he should be able to beat out these teams here. He could possibly beat out the Colts and he could possibly beat out the Colts and the Steelers. Because I believe Raiders will get that last spot. The Raiders, I believe, could get the wild card spot. But the Jaguars, this all depends on Nick Foles. Because Leonard Fournette is good. They got a team. But Meacham ain't been doing bad. But Meacham, again, he's not ready for that. He's not ready for this second half of the season. This second half of the season is prime time. It's going to get very tough. They're gonna really need Nick Foles' veteranship. Because, again, Nick Foles has a ring. He's been to the championship already. Tennessee, no. Titans, again, they need improvement with the offense. The offense needs help. They need a lot of help because Mariota done lost all momentum. He's not that guy anymore. They didn't put Tannehill in there. They need help. Lions, again, they need improvement. Bucks and Brown, yeah. So that's pretty much it, man. It's all about these 3 categories here. These teams are the ones to watch. And that's pretty much it. And I already told y'all about the bottom teams. Again, yeah, these bottom teams here, they're not, I mean, yeah, Arizona has won. Arizona's another team that's not winless no more. They won 3 games. Kyler Murray is starting to pick it up too, but they're not passing up. Again, you're in a division with San Francisco and Seattle. Arizona's not doing that no more. I'm sorry. They're not going to even beat the Rams. But that's pretty much it, man. That's the video, man. But anyway, that's just the progress report. I'll come back when it's week 17, when playoffs time comes, and I'm just going to do a final review, and I'm going to tell you who I think will be a championship team, who I feel is going to be winning, who I feel could reach the championship, and who I feel is legit. Man, folks, man, y'all stay blessed, stay tuned. I'll see you soon.